Hey socialites, so in today's video we're going to be trying quite a few new products. So I've had a few requests to try out the new Danessa Colorful Fix Stick, so we're going to be trying this out today. I had another request for the new Saie Powder that I didn't even know came out, so we're going to be trying this out and a few other new products, y'all. Everything I mentioned in today's video will be linked right there on the YouTube shopping tab or either in the description box, so be sure to check that out. So if you want to see how I got this look and my thoughts on some new goodies, then keep watching. Okay, socialites, so we're going to start off with the Clinique Moisture Surge 100 Hour Moisturizer. This could also be used as a primer too. I don't know if I told you guys this. And for foundation today, I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation. I'm probably going to use this on the next few tutorials so I can use it up. It's only a little bit left, but one pump is usually enough for my whole face. If I need more coverage, a pump and a half is good, and it's in the shade 13W. And I'm gonna blend it out with my Sephora collection number 88 brush. For concealer, I'm going to use the Estee Lauder Double Wear Concealer. The deeper shade is 5C and the lighter shade is 5W. So as you notice, 5C, which is supposed to stand for cool, looks warm, and 5W stands for warm, and it looks a lot more cool. So that's why with this concealer, I really do, if you're not going to go with the shades that you see me wearing, I recommend you go look in store to see what shade you need. This dual-sided brush that I'm using, by the way, is from Amazon. So I'll put the link in the description box in case you're interested. This is actually a concealer that had to grow on me. The first couple times I wore it, it was just so matte. I didn't like how sort of dry it looked under eye. But then I realized I was using way too much. A little bit of this goes a long, long way. You only need a little bit and it gives you full coverage with just a little bit of product. If you've ever tried the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer, the formulas are different. MAC one is a little bit, it's more like watery and thin, but this one is thin too, but in a creamier way, not as liquidy. But a tiny bit of this gives you like ultimate coverage, and it leaves like a very smooth under eye that doesn't budge. But if you use too much, it will look a little bit dry. My LYS contour or bronzer stick in the shade Courage. But if you have dry skin or dry under eyes, don't use any concealer that's matte. You're gonna always wanna go with something more hydrating under eye if you have a dry under eye. And they do have hydrating concealers that don't crease like that, so you don't necessarily have to go with a matte product just to make sure you don't crease or just to make sure your makeup doesn't budge. So I'm gonna pull out my LYS Loose Setting Powder. I hadn't used this in a while. It's a translucent shade. Okay, now for one of the stars of the show, the new Saie Powder. It's the Slip Tint Undetectable Baked Setting Powder. So one of the socialites asked me, what do I think about this as compared to the Sephora Micro Smooth Powder, I think on the last video, the video before that. And I'm like, girl, I didn't even know Saie had a new powder. So this is in Translucent 4. I think it comes in 5 different shades, number 5 being the deepest. And when I went in store, number 5 looked a little deep for me, just a little bit. I would compare number 5 to like Sephora Micro Smooth and Ebony, if you're familiar with Ebony, or maybe one shade darker than Ebony. Here's the packaging. It's giving cutesy. It has raised letters on the front of it. I like how it's see-through, just like the Micro Smooth, and it looks like a baked powder. So let's see what this looks like. Hopefully the color works and hopefully it's not too warm. I don't think it will be, but let's see. So for powder brush. So I'm gonna use this Morphe M162 powder brush and go right into it. There's no kick up back in here, so that's pretty cool. And you get like a moderate amount when you go into the product, so it's not like one of those creamy like powders. So let's see, we have a little bit of sheen from our cream bronzer, so let's go over that area. Okay, so it's not matte, it has a little bit of sheen to it. So when I set the cream product, it has a little bit of sheen to it, because when I usually set the LYS cream bronzer, usually I'm using a more mattified powder, and it's matte, it doesn't stay shiny like that. So it's on the radiant side, not like shimmery or anything like that, or like iridescent, but it's radiant. So the Micro Smooth powder is a little bit more matte than this, but I like this because it'll make the skin look, give the skin more like that healthy, like more lived in look. It's pretty, and I think the color works perfectly. Look how smooth it looks. Y'all, it is late, so y'all probably hear the cicadas outside. They are super loud. Look, I love a powder like this because a lot of times, not usually when I use the Micro Smooth, but a lot of times when you set with a pressed powder, you want to like use a finishing spray or something. Whether you use it in between steps or at the end, you want to spray it so it can give you that lived in look. This automatically gives you that, so it's pretty. And I'm adding a little bit more and it's still not looking heavy. So that's how the Micro Smooth powder is. I feel like with the Micro Smooth powder, there's really no such thing as applying too much. I'm pretty sure you can, but there's really no such thing as applying too much. So you don't have to be super careful with how much you put on. The MAC Mineralized Skin Finish, which I used to compare, or sometimes I still do, compare it to the Micro Smooth powder. That one you can apply too much and it could start looking heavy. Micro Smooth doesn't really do that. It allows the skin to look a little bit more like skin than the Micro Smooth, although the Micro Smooth is not too far off from this one. Let's move on to cheeks, and then we're gonna have fun with the eyes today, y'all. So this one is the Dior Backstage Rosy Glow blush in the shade Rosewood. This is the new formula. So very pretty color. I feel like this is a color that will work for almost anybody. So I'm gonna use my Nikki LaRose N15 brush. Love her brush set, by the way, and I don't know if her brush set is on sale, but I saw that BK Beauty brushes were on sale. I need to double check and see if it's the entire site. I thought I saw 35% off, so I'll put it right there on the YouTube shopping tab if it is. So the new formula of the Dior blush is a little bit more blendable, a little bit more smooth. The original was a little bit on the dry side, and this one is slightly more pigmented, but it still allows you to build it up. Like, it's not super pigmented like, say, a Juvia's Place blush or anything like that. So you can still build it up, but definitely blends in a little bit easier than the original formula, so I do like that. Haus Labs bronzer, this one is in the shade Acacia Ember. Going in with my Makeup by Ariel brush. This is the A3.2. Just gonna deepen that bronzer a little bit and sort of mesh it into the blush a tiny bit. It's not gonna get super dark because this shade isn't like super dark. Cleaning up my eyebrows with the Sephora Best Skin Ever concealer. It's in the shade 35. Okay, y'all, so Danessa Myricks has launched these Color Fix sticks, and I know a few of you guys have been waiting on me to try them out. I only picked, wait a minute. Did she give me the right one? Y'all, I think she gave me the wrong color, because it looks like this is purple on the outside, and I told her I wanted the taupe one because they weren't out on the floor yet. She just went to the back to get them. And yep, she gave me the wrong one. She gave me the, oh, I'm sad about that. This is absolutely not the color I wanted, but we're gonna try it out. I'm sorry I seem deflated. Oh my gosh. Well, hopefully one of y'all wanted to see this because there was like a taupey one that had like, one side was taupe, the other side was like gold. So this one is Duo 8. So one side, and I'm hoping it's not sold out now, like dang. So let's watch them. How about that? So you can pull them apart. One side is supposed to be like a straight up glitter shimmer, and then one side is just supposed to be like have like a sheen to it. Well, it looks blue or gray. This one is the purple side. The purple one is the one that kind of gives, well, this one kind of looks, it shifts. So depending on what light you look in, it'll look purple, and then when it shifts to like a blue or purple. And then this one is like, I guess like a slate. The look that I had in mind for today, we're gonna have to change that because this won't go with that. So, and let's see if we can blend this with our finger. Ooh, it feels kind of cool on the lid. Not like, almost cold a little bit. So, it feels a little bit dry almost instantly. So a brush would probably be better to blend this with. And let me make it a little bit more intense on the lid. Blend the crease. I actually got to the lady who worked there. She brought out the testers because they weren't on the floor yet, and I got to swatch all of them. When I tell you, like, this isn't a bad color because they're all pretty. It's just not the one that I wanted, and I was only gonna get one. So this one is the Patrick Ta Major Dimension 3, and I'm just gonna put like a combination of these two in the crease. But I swatched them all and they were all beautiful, y'all. When I tell you, I wanted the one that had the taupes in it, like a taupe, and then the shinier part or the glittery part was like more on the golden side, and then they had like a straight up gold where both sides were like a gold color. That was beautiful. That was my second favorite, but I knew I was only going to get one, and because I already have like the Patrick Ta gold little glitter duo, I was like, okay, let me go with the taupe instead of getting something similar. But they swatched so pretty and so shiny. Okay, I'm wondering, is it creasing right there? Let's put a little bit. More, and it feels like it's stuck. Like once you swipe it on the skin, it's like on there. And actually when I finally took it off the swatches on my hand, that later on I had to use like a makeup wipe, a Neutrogena wipe, because it didn't want to move. So let's take the foiled side up so you guys can see that. Right in the center. That's actually really pretty. Really, really pretty. It's beautiful. It's just not a shade I would wear every day, but I think it's gorgeous. What do you guys think about it? Have y'all tried them yet, first of all? And what do you think about these colors? And if you have tried them, what color did you get, or what's your favorite? Like, how do y'all feel about them? Wow, what a pop. That is so pretty. She's so good at creating these. Like, her glitters and shimmers are always so like next level. That is so pretty. Yeah, she may not be going back. She may not be going back after all. This is so pretty. Love glitters. Okay, so let's do a black line. I got these pencils from Wonder Skin. I've never heard of Wonder Skin, but I swatched these pencils and they were literally so creamy. They're like butter, like just glide on like just the most buttery, creamy liner ever. So, ooh, and it's ultra black. It dries down super fast, so you have to blend quick with these pencils. first couple times that I used these, I didn't see them on the Sephora website because the socialite sent them to me from Italy. But now it says new on the website, so they just came out in the US. These are the 12-hour colorful special effects pencils from Sephora collection. Now this shade is it 03? Celestial blue. That's what it looks like. So pretty. So I'm gonna put a little bit of this in the waterline, and this one glides on really creamy too. It's so comfortable in the waterline. So I'm just gonna put it like right in the inner. Love these. I got a pink one too. I saw they had like a green one and then something else, but the other two colors I wasn't too interested in that I saw on the website. So these are like the perfect two colors. So I'm gonna go in the same palette and do a little bit of the black here and bring that up. Your mascara for the bottom. Your blush stick. Now this one's in the shade Candy, and Candy is more like it's like a peachy shade that's a bit iridescent. So this is just going to give me a little bit of glow. So I'm going to use it kind of like a blush topper using my 110 brush from BK Beauty. Ooh. And I specifically bought Candy to go with my Rosewood blush that I'm wearing from Dior as well, and I just knew they were gonna layer so perfectly. Look at that, it's so pretty. So I'm gonna take my Charlotte Tilbury and just set right in my inner corner. Morphe lip pencil, this one's in the shade Bite Me. Libra from Juvia's Place. And I'm gonna overline just a little bit with Limitless Brown from Makeup Forever. My Charlotte Tilbury finishing spray. So I popped on some lashes and I brought the glitter a little bit further up the lid just for a little bit more drama. I'm gonna go back into the Patrick Ta palette and use like this neutral shade here, the matte shade, and pop that right in the inner corner. So when I grabbed my lashes, I looked in my restroom mirror, which is a more like true to life mirror than being in these studio lights. And the color of the Saie Powder, the shade of it looks a lot more rich than my Micro Smooth powder. So let me show you guys the difference. This one is the shade for Saie, which is 4. And this one is Mahogany, and the Micro Smooth powder from Sephora collection. So this one gives me like a more richer true to color. Now the Micro Smooth powders aren't like dull shades, but as compared to like the MAC mineralized skin finish powders, if you're familiar with those shades are more rich in color than the Micro Smooth. And so Saie powders are similar to the MAC mineralized skin finishes in that the shades are more rich. And I think the formula is a little bit more comparable actually to the MAC mineralized skin finish than Sephora collection, because the MAC ones are a little bit more radiant than the Sephora Micro Smooth powders. Now the biggest difference between this and MAC mineralized skin finish is the MAC powder definitely has more coverage, more color payoff. So this is the final look. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed trying these new products. Everything I mentioned in today's video will be linked right there on the YouTube shopping tab on the screen, or you can check in the description box. And if you're new here, welcome. I'd love for you to come join the family by hitting the subscribe button. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. 'Cause I've been where you are. You're too scared to show me love, 'cause too fresh with the scars.